again, friends. I hope you're ready for more crafts because today we have two that focus on Joshua chapter 24 and on why it's important to choose to love and serve God and how we can do that. So our first craft is going to be a service jar. So we're going to decorate a jar or container or box of some sort, and then inside it you can store either money or ideas of how we can serve the Lord and His church. So let's decorate our jar. I have an old coffee can. You can also use an old oatmeal container or an old tissue box or an old shoe box or whatever kind of container you just so happen to have on hand. But I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to wrap some paper around it. And before I wrap the paper, I'm going to actually add some decoration to it so that I can remember what this jar is for. Or rather, what this can has been repurposed for, since clearly it was previously coffee. So I'm going to measure so I can make sure that I wrap together properly. And I clearly did not cut properly, but it's going to be close. So I'm going to wrap it around, and that way I know where I need to add my writing. So now I'll be doing the bulk of my writing right here. And I'm going to also add some extra decorations. So I'll start out by saying, choose to serve the Lord. And I can add some additional drawings and or some fun stickers. And this is going to become, again, a container that can be used to collect offering and later put into the offering plate at church, or it could be for ideas of how and when and where we can serve God. So I've got this guy nice and decorated, more or less. And now I'm going to tape this on my jar. You can glue it as well, but on this one I actually would more recommend tape, just because it's going to be easier and it's going to stick faster. So get it all taped up here. And now you can, of course, add decorations to the entire thing as well. You don't have to just do the front. This is just, again, timing purposes. And I am going to put my lid on top. You don't have to have a lid, but it's kind of fun. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole and make a slit there, kind of like a piggy bank. And that way I can put my ideas inside. And for fun, I'm going to make a couple more slits, or actually holes. And I'm going to add a little fun flare. So it's kind of like a bucket, but you don't have to do that. I just thought it would be kind of fun. In fact, I'm going to even go a little more overboard and just make this kind of fun and decorative. But that's just an extra embellishment. Again, don't have to do that. But here is my God-fearing, God-serving bank box. And then what you're going to do is inside it, again, depending on how you prefer to use this, if I was making this a jar of service ideas, I could write down extra thoughts on here, such as volunteer at the shelter, or visit nursing home, or bake cookies for neighbors. Again, just ideas of ways that we can serve in the community and in the church and serve God. These could also be pray, do my chores, lots of different ideas. But then you've got your service suggestions, and this can be something you add to all the time. Oh, I just thought of another cool suggestion. And then you're going to put it in your little bucket. And then later on, you can open up your bucket when you need a way to serve and identify, hey, we have a free day this weekend. What can we do? Can we serve? Here's how we can serve. Or again, this could also be a prayer bank, a coin bank, a tithe bank, whatever you want it to be. But that's craft number 1 for Joshua 24. Craft number 2, we're going to celebrate this house element, and there are a lot of ways you can make yourself a little house, but here's one of them that we're going to do right now. So I'm going to use a paper plate, and I'm going to fold it in half. And now the end result is going to stand like this, just so you know what we're working on here. But I'm going to draw an outline of my house. So I'm going to have, don't go all the way to the bottom of the plate, you'll see why in just a moment. But I'm going to make my house go here. And across. Again, you can do whatever you want with your house. That's the basic outline, and then we'll decorate it. You don't want it too elaborate, because what we're going to next is we're going to cut around it. So this is sort of a relief cutting. And I'm going to cut out these outlines. Then we're going to kind of wind up with a pop-out of sorts. So we're going to cut away basically everything but the border of the plate and the house itself. And there we go. Then we'll have a fun little house. Oops, sorry. Also, fun tip, this works for Noah's Ark when you're doing the Noah's Ark story, but I digress. So there's our house. If you'd like, you can tape these sides together, or you can let them flop. The taping might be slightly easier, or it just kind of looks like you have two houses. I mean, that works too. So now we're going to decorate it. So I'm going to actually put a dab of glue here and get them together. And then we've got our chimney here. Maybe a little door. Add some house-like decorations. Here's a window. And here's a roof. Again, this part's up to the students. Get as elaborate or as not as you want. And then down here we can say, as for my house, we will serve God. And then if you want to make it even more fun and elaborate, we can add ourselves a little grass down here, kind of like a lawn, and we can put the verse caption on there. So we can say over here, Joshua 24. Choose to serve. And voila, there you have a fun little house. And this is something that is not necessarily functional, like our offering bucket, but it could be a little decorative centerpiece. It could just go on your fridge with a magnet. You could attach a magnet and make it into a magnet. You could hang it up. You could even make it into a door hanger. So you have options, or it's just a fun little way to keep little hands busy and remember the story and how important it is to serve Jesus. So I hope you remember how important it is to serve God. And of course you do, because this is what you're doing when you minister to children. And hopefully these crafts are helpful in that. And so are our messages and lessons that we have every week. Now, go make some crafts, make some disciples. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.